Alright, welcome back everybody. Got a fun little tutorial for you today. We're going to show off a couple of the new features inside Zbrush 4R8. It's been waiting for this release for the past year. Got surprised last week, and there it was for everybody out there to start playing with. So we're going to have some fun in here today. I'm thinking we're going to do some live Boolean, however you say it. Okay. We're gonna have fun creating some really cool objects quickly. I'll show you a little one that I did earlier. Looks a little funky there. Don't have the Boolean turned on, but once I turn on live Boolean, there it is in all its prettiness there. And it was super simple to make. Just working with primitives to make the base structure there. Used one of Joseph Drust's IMM insert object there. Just used one of his there, and then I'll also did some panel lines here. I'll show you how to create that, kind of a different way than some people have been making them. You can use the chisel brushes if you want to do that, but I've got another way that I'll show you how to do it, a little more interactive. So I was gonna do a tutorial just on this guy, but I thought, nah, he's too simple. So we're gonna work on one of the skulls that I have available for you. And if you go over to my Gumroad page, you can pick it up there, as well as the new UI that I made up for it. Make sure you grab the Zbrush 4R8 UI, which is right there, and we scroll down a little bit, and then here's the 3D skull model that you can get, all free. Just feel free to grab it there and start the tutorial, or whatever model you want to work with. You can just kind of follow along and watch the steps. And so let's jump right back into ZBrush and let's start cutting up this model here. So I imported him, the skull. He's a OBJ file. He's got UVs on there, but we're not worried about UVs today. We're not going to try to send him out to render into anything besides maybe Keyshot here. I'll show you a quick little run through there. So let's get him started here. So we got him imported. We're going to go ahead and do D. That's for dynamic subdivision, and it'll ask this question every time you do a dynamic subdivision, so just always yes. We're going to smooth him out just a little bit. If you go under your geometry here, go under dynamic, and you can change the smooth modifier to about, looks like 3 is going to work out for what we need. I actually have it down here with dynamic and smooth subdivision, so I got them in the UI. Makes life a little easier for me and you now. So we're going to zoom in and we're going to start adding some objects to this. First, let's go ahead and open up our subtool here so we can mess with that. We've already got live Boolean turned on, so I'm going to click this little down arrow for a start, and that just basically means every time you click that little start, that pretty much means whenever you do make Boolean mesh, it will turn it into its own group. So everything under this will be one group, and if you start another one, you will basically have 2 groups then. You know, and each group will not necessarily affect each other, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and start cutting into our mesh here. So we're going to go ahead and append probably just sphere 3D, and we'll go down to our sphere 3D here, and we're gonna go ahead and change that to dynamic so we get it nice and smooth already. We will go to W, which is your move, and now we come up with the new Gizmo Tool, which is just heaven. I love this thing. I just always stick with the default myself. So we're gonna go ahead, scale him down a little bit, and we're going to bring him up to the top. And if you go over to your Boolean operations here, if you click on the second one here, that's for subtraction. As you can see, we've already cut into our mesh, so it doesn't look that cool at the moment there. So we're going to probably stretch him out. If you look at your gizmo, you got these little scale icons here, then your rotations. We're going to scale him in the Z or Z, and probably scale him overall, clicking on that yellow one there. And we're just going to make some really cool cuts in here. Oops, I want to translate him up. And we're going to move him forward. Obviously, we're leaving the mesh a little bit, so we're going to have to bring him back down. Cool, I like that. So, neat thing about this, if you hold down Control and click on one of the arrows in the direction, it will create a duplicate, just like you did when you had transpose. So now we can scale and modify that one to our heart's content here. And I'm just going to manipulate this left side for now, because I will do a mirror and weld at the end. Now, if you see these white circles and arrows, that is screen space. So whatever angle you're looking at, that's where it will move and rotate in that direction. So we lock him off on that side, and we could rotate him just a little bit. Very hard to see, so if you can't tell where that mesh really is, you can click your polyfill, and that will show you what's going on, so you can see it. So probably want to, if you click that arrow, that's the screen space there. We can move him back just a little bit. We can turn off polyfill. As we can see, we're making some nice little cuts in there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and give him maybe some cuts. Where do I want to cut him at? Frame him up. Let's go ahead and do a Control and drag off a new one here. We'll move him back. Cut some of these lines back here. Gonna shrink him a little bit in the Z direction, maybe bring up the Y direction a little bit. Get some weird cuts back here. Maybe thin them out just a little bit more. Move, and let's do a Control and drag. Okay, he's there, but we just can't quite see him at the moment. Let's see where he's at. We can move him in, and we can start cutting back into it. Need to probably move him out just a little bit. Scale him. Nope, not translate, scale. Not too bad. Let's go ahead, and where else do we want to make a cut at? Maybe on the side here. So let's go ahead and Control and drag. Move him over. It's about there. So we got a really weird shape going on there. Let's go ahead and scale him back down. Get him back down to a circular type pattern here. Maybe like that. And then we'll move him into the mesh. We may move him up a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Control and drag. Let's put some stuff on the face. Maybe just chisel some of those edges there. Okay, let's go ahead and Control drag. We're going to scale him down. Kind of do whatever you want there. Just see what that mesh looks like here. There he is, okay. And we'll do Control drag. Oops. Didn't quite get Control done. Control, then drag. There we go. And we may use some of our rotations here. If I can grab a hold of it. There we go. So let's go ahead and see, can I do it off of that screen space? Yes, I can. Okay. Let's scale that one up. Like that. And let's do one more here. And control. Drag him over here. With the lower jaw. Yeah, something like that. So we can go ahead and go back to draw. And now, while we're still on all those spheres right there, we could do a mirror and weld, which is in your geometry, modify, mirror and weld on the X, click that. And if you look up here, I got it in my UI already. So now we got that all set up there. So let's see, what can we add in here? Why don't we add some sort of eyes? How about that? Zoom in here. So let's go to, we'll go to subtool here. We're still on the spheres right now, but we can open a B. Let's see, what am I looking for? Narrow the selection. I think machine parts is what I was looking for. And now you can see we have this new selection here. You can even hit M and see it that way. I'm still trying to get used to that. The coupler is actually pretty cool. If we click him and we just click on a point like right here. Now if I hit solo, you can see what's going on here. Here's all our Boolean cuts here, all our spheres, and now we got this new guy in here. If you actually go to, I believe, go to split unmasked points. There we go. Now let's go to our coupler again. Now it's its own subtool. So let's go ahead and modify him real fast before we do anything else. And it's held on to everything as it's a negative, it's dynameshed, or dynamic subdivision. So if I do Shift D real quick, so I can modify him just a little bit, I can go into BZM for the Z modeler, which is right down here. And if I do polygroup, let's do flat island. And let's polygroup him. Click and hold it for a second, and then you can tap Alt and switch through the colors, which is just fine right there. If we do go to polygroups and click no, we don't want polygroups. You want geometry, crease PG, which is crease polygroup border. Now it threw a crease line in there. Now if we do D again, it'll stay nice and frozen in there. We can actually go crease, edge loop complete. We can actually get rid of that rounded edge there. That looks really good. I'm going to bring up the subdivisions just a hair. Looks good. Let's go ahead and we can take it out of solo. And as you can see, it's cutting on the backside there, which is okay. And actually, let me hit solo again. I want to fix that backside real fast. I want to polygroup flat island and increase polygroups again. There we go. That's fixed. And increase that. And what I may do, actually, I may just actually cut this guy in half. Let me do select rectangle, skip note. Let's see. Just want to get rid of that. Okay. And go to geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Boom. Okay. Got rid of that. Now we just need to do a close hole action, which you can actually just do in here. Ugh. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't get rid of all the polygons here. Let me get rid of that. Delete hidden. Okay. And do a close hole. See. If I was looking at this straight on, it would have been better off. You can go to display properties and do double, which is right here. There we go. Now I can see everything I need to get rid of. And I can do a grow visibility, grow. It should be all I need. And geometry, and delete hidden. Boom. Okay. Close holes. There we go. And increase polygroup. There we go. Nice and flat now. Good. So now turn solo off and make some much better cut in there. Turn polyfill off just so we can see. Made a nice little hole right in there. Awesome. Just about exactly where I wanted it. Let's go ahead and move. We can rotate them around just a little bit. Get this fool to look at us. And let's go ahead, and what we need to do is take the turn solo here. We're still on Z modeler. Let's do move, flat island, and just bring him out just a hair. Turn solo off. I didn't fix that. That's weird. Solo. I should have cut it. Oh, okay. Why don't we do move? Maybe scale them up just a little bit. Move them out. Oh, back in. There we go. That was the problem. He wasn't in far enough. Alright, cool. Looks good. So we can go ahead and do a mirror and weld. Got him on both sides. Cool. Let's start working on the panel lines real fast. Alright. So go ahead and let's get back to draw. What we need to do is do a quick union of the mesh. And before I do that, let's pick the polyspheres and just bump up their resolution just a hair. Okay, that's good. That's what we want. And now go ahead, and if you go under Subtool and you go under Boolean, Dynamic Subdivision turned on, and make Boolean Mesh. And just take a few seconds there. And there we go. The U-mesh skull looks identical, and everything is fused together quite nicely, and it's also made some really nice polygroups for us. So now we can start slicing up our mesh and make a nice little cut lines to go in there. Okay, so let's make our cut lines now. So what we want to do, we're going to do some stuff that you may have seen me do in the past here. So I'm going to go B, S, and we're going to look for slice curve. Alright, so now we're ready. If we do Control, Shift, and click, we just want to see just this guy here. I'm going to turn double on here so I can see both sides here. And what I want to do is get all these guys to connect. So what I'm going to do is just this. Go like right here. If you double tap Alt, it'll make a straight line. Double tap again, make another. There we go. Our first little panel line there. Let's see how we want to do these guys down here. Maybe I will do a curved one. And if you just tap once, it'll just make a nice gradual curve. Like that. Great. So let me control click just so, let me get them all the way back out here. So I could just pay attention to this guy here. Might be a little chaotic down here, but Alt, 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 and Alt. Make a little lip there. And then just go straight across like that. I know it looks a little funky, but wait, there's more. Mirror and weld. Fixed. So let's take a look at this yellow one here. See, zoom. Let me see. Okay. I guess I'll live with that. It's going to make a weird panel cut through there. Not quite what I wanted, but should be interesting. Happy accident. Okay, so let's see. What else do we need to connect? We need to connect this guy down here. So let's go and double tap Alt. Double tap, like that. Done. Awesome. Just what we wanted. Let's take a look at the back here. I just want to see... Oh. Alright, fine. And if you do drag that out, hit Control again, it'll turn it back to a select rectangle. There we go. That's what I wanted to see right there. Let me do a quick auto group. Wait, I know what to do. Alright, turn this. Geometry. Nope, 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 nope. Polygroups. Auto group. Mirror and weld. Alright, so now I got these little bits isolated. That's what I wanted. Alright, now I got that group again. And I don't got those guys interfering in the back of the eyes. Let's do a slice circle. And we'll do... Oops. And then use spacebar and you can move it. And like that'll be fine. I want to did I make one up front? Yeah, I did. But that's okay. I like that. Select rectangle, dupe. Auto group. There we go. Now he's one solid mesh again. That's good. So let's go ahead and select this one here. Move. We'll do a slice rectangle this time. Okay. mirror and weld. This way it's symmetrical. Now let's select that guy again. Hey. Let's do a slice curve. And we'll start connecting everything to each other. Ugh. It's alright, it'll fix itself here in a second. Looks a little wonky. It's fine. And mirror and weld. Okay. Need to fix that little batch down there. Select him. Auto group. Doop. Get these. Control W so it's all together. And mirror and weld. There we go. Guys are probably like going, what the heck are you doing? Alright, so let's go ahead and fix that eye there. Zoom in so I can capture both at the same time. There we go. Control W. It's all one solid mesh again. Good. So let's go back to the purple. Want to make some lines coming out of the eyes. So slice curve. Slice curve. In like that. Let's see how this works. Oh, that worked out good. Get rid of him so I don't mess him up. Perfect. And mirror and weld. There we go. Weird panel lines, I know. Alright. I'm pretty content with that. I want to... Now we just start getting rid of... Actually, let's do something with this big guy back here. Auto group again. Get out of that. Mirror and weld. There we go. So now they're all their own individual groups. Yep. Perfect. Let's get it on the left side here so I can see what I'm doing. Get him. Let's do slice circle. Like that. Okay. Click him off. Slice curve. Like that. Like that. Okay. And we'll do that to these two up here. Slice circle. Like that. Get rid of him. Nope. Slice curve. Like that. Like that. Okay. Get out of that. And mirror and weld. Alright. Cool beans. Alright. I think I've done enough slicing here. That's occupied way too much of our time. So, what I want to get rid of is probably this guy here. Make sure I'm select rectangle here. I don't need those extra groups there, and I'm just going to do a delete hidden. Alright, so let's set up our framing now. We want to go to stroke, and it's under curve functions. We want to just do polygroups and frame mesh. And we can zoom in and see that it has put a nice little, it's framed up everything on here. So go ahead and do B, I, and we're looking for, nope. Let's do B, insert curve tubes. Actually, you want curve multi-tubes. Where are they at? There they are. Right there. Want to make sure your draw size is relatively small, so we'll start out at 5 or 6 if I get it there, and click on one of your curves, and boom. As you can see, it's done a very nice job there. Let's go ahead, Control Z, and go ahead and frame mesh border as well. There we go. Now let's do our, there we go, because it wasn't doing it at the edge of our mesh. So now that that's done, we can go ahead, it looks like it's not too bad. I may actually drop him down to like 3. Make it as thin as possible to start with, and we can scale it up if need be. So there we go, and frame him out, and you can see the frame we have made. Looks good. So go ahead and you can click off your mesh there, and actually click somewhere. Dang it. We can do split unmasked points. Okay, and curve, we can go ahead and modifiers, where is it, curve, delete, thank you, that's what I was looking for, delete the curve. Alright, so go ahead and go to your subtool here, and we will delete that top mesh, delete, okay, because we don't need that anymore. Got this weird wireframe thing going on there. Let's go back to our original skull here, and go ahead and come down here and hit append. Let's get our cut there, and then turn it to negative. And as you can see, we've got nice little cut panel lines in there. But we can take it just a little bit further. I can zoom in just a little bit here. As you can see, we got some gaps going on in there, and that was just from the framing. And what we can do is actually go to deformation, and we can inflate just a little bit. Oops, inflating the wrong subtool. There we go. And inflate. And what we do, hit solo there. And what we could do to unify this mesh a little bit, we can actually go to, not dynamic, let's go to Dynamesh. Let's change the resolution, 1024, and Dynamesh real quick. Alright, now it's all unified together there. We can go ahead and we can probably, what I could probably do, a little bit there is irritating me, but I'm not going to worry about it too much there. We can actually polyframe, auto group, and then just select on that one and delete hidden. There we go. Now I got rid of those little oddball ones just hanging out there. We can take this geometry now, let me frame him out here, zoom in, and turn on symmetry. We're going to do Z remesher, keep everything the same except adaptive, and Z remesh. We're going to bring him down just a little bit. There we go. Nice lower poly here. Much easier to work with, and it kind of got rid of some of those little areas that were causing issues. Now we can go and turn solo off, polyframe off, Now we're getting some really nice clean cuts. And we can turn dynamic on, and there we go. There's a nice clean cut there that we can actually still modify a little bit more if we wanted. We could polish by features, kind of round out some of those sharp corners there. You can even inflate it a little more. You can deflate it a little bit. Do a couple different things with it. See what happens when I do clay polish. And what I need to do is probably inflate it just a hair again. And inflate. And it looks like I need to just move some of them out just a little bit. They kind of polished a little too much, so move. I've got X on. Turn on the draw size a little bit more. And it looks like I just need to pull him in or out just a little bit. A little wobbly there, but it's kind of a neat way to do things. Check out all our cool little panel lines here. Oh, I missed out on that guy down there. Oops. Oh well, that's fine. You get the idea. So now we've got this mesh, and we can do dynamic subdivision on and make Boolean mesh. One thing to remember when you export or when you want to render this inside Keyshot, you have to go ahead and make Boolean mesh before you send it over there. It will not do it for you. Just a FYI there. And I think we're done. That's it. All nice and ready to go there with all the polygroups intact. So what I want to do is take like that one right there. I want to split hidden, and that's probably the only one I'm going to mess with there. Yeah, that's the only one I really want to mess with. So if we go up to render, external render, Keyshot, and BPR, we're going to go play inside Keyshot real quick. Alright, we are over in Keyshot now. Take a look at our mesh here. It looks pretty much the same as it did over in Zbrush. And found a really cool one inside Keyshot 6.3 under metals that's really cool texture to it. It's like a multi-texture, and I'll show you how to play with it here. We're going to drag and drop this tarnished metal. Look at that, just instant satisfaction there. So we need to modify this a little bit there. Let's go ahead and double click it, and we're going to pull up the material, click on material graph. For starters, I'm going to take this roughness map here, double click it, bring him up to about, we'll start off with 5. See how that looks. And then double click your curvature and change it to 5, tab, 5, tab. And that will get rid of that crazy pattern that was showing up on there. Now you can modify this texture a lot more. As you can see, the negative portions are showing up more gold, and then the outside silver. Well, you can flip all that. So let's go material graph, and you can change your positive and negative curvature. So click and drag the gold to the positive, and then drag a new line to the negative, and there we go. And you can do a couple different variations there, but as you can see, you get this nice material in no time. So you remember we split those two objects there, the eyes. So I'm going to double click the eyes and open up that material. Let me make sure it's unlink the material so it doesn't try to play around there. Let's see. Do I got that? Yeah, material. And we're going to change him. We're going to start off, we're going to try an emissive. Go to emissive. We're going to change the color to, oops, no color, properties. We're going to change that to, well, let's start off with like more of a yellowish. Okay, and we're going to crank him up. Let's try 10. Now we can see it's starting to affect the area inside here. And let's see, why don't we go to maybe a red, more of a reddish. You can also do this, you can also change it to area light diffuse. Now that, you got to lower the wattage way down though. 1 usually works. And we can change that. Ooh, nice. It's kind of a orange glow there. Makes for a really nice texture there. That's nice. I like that. We're going to stick with that one. So obviously we can change our environment. And let's see what works. I think, let me see, the studio, it's not bad. Is there another one? There's stairwell. Ah, that one's not bad at all. If you do control and drag on the canvas there, you can rotate everything around. It's not too bad, not too bad. We'll change our environment. Change it to a color. We'll still keep the HDRI, but the background is just going to be a... There we go, change that. Cool. You can even do ground reflections to where it starts reflecting the skull on there. Let me zoom out a little bit and you can see a little better. Let's see, what else can we do? You can add like another light inside the scene in addition to your HDRI and those eyes. So we're going to do scene, sphere, right click, move model, get our little gizmo here. We're going to put him over there. I'm going to scale him. I like using this scale tool. It's a little easier to use this one than the scale on here. It's a little, I don't know. Their gizmo's great, but I wish it was as good as the new ZBrush one. Alright, so we got him there. Let's go ahead and change his material. Double click him, and we're going to make him an area light diffuse. And that's a little crazy. We probably only need like 20 watts there. And let's see, we can move part. No, I don't want them that close. $30 watts. And turn off visible to camera. There we go. Now you won't interfere with the render there. But we got an additional light here to get highlights on this side. Maybe turn him just a little bit so we got those eyes really sunk in there, don't I? Alright, well, very quick and easy way to add some interest to your model there. Inside Zbrush 4R8, and now we're rendering inside Keyshot. Hope you enjoy this video. Definitely hit that like and subscribe, and I will have something new for you here in just a few days. You guys have a great day.